What's going on, NMO fans? This is your host, alexlexus of the NMO Mugen Arcade Show. This is week 3 of our NMO podcast, All Things Mugen. We have our guest, MugenLord of Mugen TV. We have Soul Bad Guy, who is now newly on my staff on the Mugen house. So today we're going to come at you with a series of topics. There's a couple of micro topics, and towards the end, Soul Bad Guy is actually going to start taking more of an active leading role on certain podcasts. And another thing I want to drop on you guys, since we have the Uvu, what you can do, if there's ever a time that I'm just unavailable, you guys can run a short podcast and give me the video, and I'll just go ahead and edit and put the stuff in there so, we can all use the footage. Also, MugenLord, any footage we have, it's free for you to stick on your channel. So, this stuff is your stuff now, too. All right? So,
okay,
let's get started. Today, we're going to talk about, we're starting with the micro topics, Mugen 1.0 and its potential. Apparently, Amit Daberdeen, who has his site, a lot of full games, a lot of fun projects, all in HD, mind you. He sent me a link to a thread in Mugen Guild where in Mugen 1.0, it removes the cap for how many people you can have in the simultaneous battle mode. What does this mean? Okay, now Mugen is locked at 2-on-2 battles for simultaneous mode, correct? What they did, they took it a step further, and now you have a 3-on-3 and a 4-on-4 EXE hack. Now, what I was reading.
Clusterfuck.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I'm going to give you guys some time to talk on it, but apparently they went into the EXE or somewhere in the command prompt and changed certain numbers, thus removing the cap. Now, in doing that, playing it, I tried to play it. There's no way to have the computer control the other characters. You're in full control of everyone on your team. Meaning, if you have a 3-on-3 battle and you jump with one character, they're all gonna jump. Now, I see the most entertainment out of that is when you put it in watch mode and just let them go at it. Now, earlier today, I released a series of videos that I had MugenLord look at, Soul Bad Guy look at, and the best one by far was the Third Strike Turbo where Gil got his ass whooped. I loved it. He was just like, and he was trying to resurrect it. Like, no, you don't, bitch. But, MugenLord, I'm going to give you a chance first. What do you think about this little hack that was put out, and then Soul Bad Guy?
Well, I mean, this whole hack thing. I think it's awesome, but at the same time, I don't really see me ever using it. I mean, it's so frantic and so chaotic. I mean, I wouldn't use it. Other than that, if somebody could figure out how to use the tag patch for it, and you better tag like 3 people or 4 people, then it's a whole nother story. Yeah. But other than that, I can't see myself using it. So that's about it.
So, Bad Guy, what are your thoughts on that?
I'm pretty much going to go the same route as MugenLord on that one, because, I mean, it's not very practical for, even if we did get the Mugen engine to recognize, 8 different controllers and shit, who would fucking be able to see what the fuck's going on? We'd just be mashing buttons and shit and just hope for the best. That's all you could do is that shit, man. I'm telling you, unblockables all over the place because of the whole, character proximity thing and shit like that. It'd be like Issa, Guilty Gear Iska, but way worse to the
yeah.
I mean, cubed and shit. Yeah.
I'm gonna play.
That game is controlled chaos.
Yeah, true. But I'm gonna play devil's advocate on this one. I see some strong potential with this. Now, I'm not gonna lie. The 4-on-4, that's just too much. Way too much. I mean, I had DC versus Marvel, the Justice League versus the Avengers, and it was just like,
the one where the dick went all the way in, right?
Yeah, balls deep. And I was like, oh my god, what the hell? Iron Man and Hulk, and you got freaking Superman and Wonder Woman going on. I mean, that was cool just for, hopefully, for me, it's cool because you can say, hey, damn, the possibilities. That's what I'm thinking. And being that Ronwin and I had took the path to do the tag stuff, I'm seeing something down the line. You know, I would love to see if there's with the 3-on-3, if there's some way we could contain it. Because right now it's just like energy loose all over the place. We could contain it and say, all right, we got this right here. How can we make it more practical, like you guys were saying? And I see some good things coming out of it because we didn't think Mugen can do that before. And if you remember, I don't know if you knew of what they call the If Cat or Infinity Cat, which was like a Mugen clone that was being developed when we thought Electbyte was never coming back. And it had a feature like that, but it was just really like you picked one character and you had 4 versions of that character. So you had Dan in blue, Dan in green, Dan in white, or whatever, and then you had Gil in blue, black, or whatever. It was just a clone of the same character, but this takes it to the next level. And I'm just saying, you know what? It might not be a bad thing. Yes, right now it's all over the place, but if they can clean it up and somehow Electbyte can make it recognize different people, and it's something you said, so that really hit home. If they can start making it recognize other controllers and make it truly multiplayer, then that'd be great. Because right now, you know, considering how people want online for Mugen and how they're using TeamViewer and all that, I don't see it in the foreseeable future right now until they have to have some sort of server where all the characters are there and then you just log in and have it load up from a server or something. I don't see that happening, but I definitely see this as an immediate thing that can be implemented. So, what are your thoughts on that before we move on to the next micro topic?
Which one?
I mean,
so you can go first.
Oh, I did have you did give me an idea. Like, maybe if it was like, you could like split the screen. You could have 2 on 2 at the top, 2 on 2 in the bottom. And then maybe like at the end of like those 2 matches, the 2 from the top come down to the bottom, fight them to the death or some shit. That'd be.
Oh, you mean like Asuka, like on planes, maybe, like fighting on different planes, like Fatal Fury, or if they did something like plane fighting, that would be cool too. I mean, that
like you have 2 on 2 on in the back and 2 on 2 in the front.
MugenLord, what do you think about that?
That could probably work.
Like I said, I don't know. It's just right now, I mean, Street Fighter Cross 2nd has a scramble mode, and that's ridiculous. And I don't see that, that wasn't even practical either. Just seeing like three to four people, I don't know. I can't really see them utilize it anyway unless they do a tag thing, But other than that,
Okay, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, because I'm actually excited for it. I just want to find some way. And Ronwin, I'm calling on you. Hit me up on YouTube so we can start working together again. All right? So, shifting gears. Forums I'm giving shout-outs to. CVG Mugen, you guys were very cool to me years ago. I just want to let you know you're on my radar. And Infinity Mugen team. I mean, that forum, I believe, pretty much wants to put the symbiote on every freaking character. They have symbiote Mega Man, symbiote Onslaught, symbiote Wolverine. I'm like, what the hell? Like, they're gonna have like a whole army of characters. And I know you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, you're gonna see Iron Man with the Venom suit on. You know what I'm saying? But I love you guys, and just giving a shout out to y'all. So. Any forums that you guys want to, put on mention before we go into our next segment?
Pretty much, Club Sin.
I forgot.
Mugen Infinity Team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mugen Infinity Team. Simra, and I'm not gonna lie. I mean, despite the beef y'all guys have, I mean, Mugen Fight Guild, they have some cool stuff there. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. So, shout out to them.
It's not the forum. It's just, people collectively giving stuff, so the content is what make Mugen Guild the epicenter of the Mugen community right now. So, back at any forums you want to give shout out to before we talk about the fair use issue that I was accused of?
Mugen Evolution, my boy BC and his boys working on the Mugen Evolution paint project. You guys awesome, man. I got to make sure I hurry up and get my character done, because we were supposed to be like showing up Mugen Guild for a while for that. And speaking of what you just said about Mugen Guild, I want to make it clear that I'm not talking about necessarily people. When I go on my little rant today, because I got one for y'all. I'm not necessarily talking about many people who are just users there. I'm specifically talking about management, because all of them pretty much need to get their asses handed to them. Really,
okay.
They're piss poor type of people, yo. I'm telling you.
All right, I'm gonna pull the leash on this one. I'm gonna pull the leash. We're gonna get to that. But moving into the next topic, fair use of content within Mugen. Okay, now I didn't want to bring this up, but in that whole little crap storm that's happening in my thread at Mugen Guild, something popped up, and somebody was claiming that I'm violating legal issues or things of that nature, and my counter argument for that is the following: I am not taking any funds for any game compilations from creators that have been credited for their whips or their betas or whatever that's in Third Strike Turbo. Emmett Aberdeen, when he originally made it, everybody's been credited. When you go to download, you'll see who contributing people, stages, so on and so forth. Things in terms of music, it's like, okay, whatever came in the package, it's like, okay, bam. Is this something you share? I've never said, hey, you're going to go pay me for a full game that other creators help to build. Okay? I mean, first of all, that's disrespectful. To say, hey, you're going to pay me for somebody else's labor. That's wrong. All right? I have a little more integrity than that. So, the person that made the comment or made the allegation in there and actually had something to do with Fox, and it was an old thing. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't really give two shits about it. But the legal aspect of that, it's like, okay, if that's the case, if you want to accuse someone like alexlexus of doing this kind of stuff, you can pretty much blame the entire community. Because we're using sprites that belong to Capcom, SNK, Arc Systems, Playmore, all of that, right? We're sharing it, distributing it for free. So where do these people come off accusing me of violating legal stuff? So that's the topic I'm putting out. Soul, I'm going to give you a chance to talk on that, and then MugenLord. So I laid that particular topic down. So what is your response, Soul Bad Guy, on that?
Absolutely fucking ridiculous. I mean, basically, there's not too much that can be said about that type of thing, because I'll adopt DeviantArt's policy on it as long as, the actual owners of the characters and stuff that's going on, as long as the owners aren't actually accusing you of anything, aren't, making cease and desist notice and stuff like that, ignore the fuck out of them, because I don't care. Your free shit is my free shit too over the internet, period. That's all it is to it.
So, MugenLord, what do you think about that topic?
This is very touchy. Very touchy topic. Back in the day when I first got into Mugen and everything, and it all depends on who's viewing it. You know what I'm saying? Because some people don't think it's anything, and then other people think it's really something. Especially when they're the ones that's not producing anything, and you see somebody else producing something or whatever. So I remember one forum. I'm not going to really mention any names. I had posted up something a long time ago, and they seen some of the songs and stuff that I had in there that I had for people to download. The Mugen roster, and they was trying to report me. And this is before I knew anything about the policies, the rules, and stuff like that. And they try to report me and stuff. But I just think it just depends, on the individual how they see it and stuff. To me, I don't think it's a big deal. And like you said about if if Capcom is not jumping on anybody, if SNK or Nintendo or Sega ain't jumping on anybody about it, then I really think everybody should just, relax, about the whole thing. I think it's silly,
man. Because it's like if the originator isn't the one who's offended or having a problem with it, then there's anybody who's trying to report you or anything like that can go kiss ass. I mean, seriously. I mean, the only Mugen creator I can think of that actually has original content out there right now, I mean, that you can download for Global Mugen is Teeth, and nobody really wants to steal his shit. So.
Mm-hmm. Now here's another thing. Now, another aspect of that. Okay, this is a free community where we're sharing stuff, right? And if you got people trying to report you or try to accuse you of certain things, and you're going to bring the wrong attention to the community, like, wait a minute, hold up, what's this? Shut this shit down. Oh, this forum, shut their server down. You know what I mean? They want to accuse me of bringing some ugliness there. That's the worst you can do. If you're going to sit there and accuse somebody or try to report an individual, you're just going to bring the wrong attention to the community. And then the stigma is going to be like, Mugen is nothing but stolen material and all that. And Capcom, when I was talking to Seth, was saying at Comic-Con, and even when I was talking to him on Capcom Unity when he was still there, it's fan art. It's just your expression or your love for their work, that you're just putting out there. I mean, if the former PR manager of Capcom said they just see it as fan art, same thing for SNK, but it wasn't always like that with SNK. They only adopted that policy when Capcom really jumped on board with it. Because I do remember they had, and it's kind of vague, I'm getting old, it was something to the effect where, oh yeah, you can't do this, you can't do that with King of Fighters sprites, and then one day it just changed. All Mugen does, it commemorates what's already out there. So for people to start, throwing the legal thing around, I don't think that's wise to even bring that up, number one. Number two, you just take the fun out of everything, because you're going to make people scared, especially the new guys, to try and do something like, oh man, I want to create a character, but I don't want to, step on anybody's toes. And you're stifling the growth of the community by doing that, So what do you think about that, Soul? And then MugenLord, before we move on to the next topic.
Well, I mean, you pretty much hit everything on the head, man. I can't really, I can't really add to that.
Oh, that nail in the coffin. That's all good.
Yeah, same here.
All right.
Yeah, same here. Same here. You hit everything.
Well, yeah, because basically they're just going to want, if sounding just like what you just said, is basically going to bring this back to the old warehouse and Mugen type shit. That pretty much that same atmosphere. I hated those times. You remember those times? Everyone does.
All right. Now, next topic. Now we're shifting in gear number 4. A what if question. Okay, those of you who are into PC gaming, like myself, and I'm sure our guests on the show are into some PC gaming to a degree. If you own a PC or a laptop that can run Street Fighter 4 Vanilla, AE, or Street Fighter Cross Tekken, all which I own, you'll come to see that a lot of people have been doing some mods. Now, when Street Fighter started really taking off on the PC, we already knew that was going to open the doors for hacking. Okay, it's like any company that releases those types of games, first-person shooters, or certain types of titles on the PC, it's like, hack me, baby, hack me. It's like you're opening the door. All right, so now I've seen a lot of mods and hacks to Street Fighter 4 Vanilla, and I said to myself, you know what? Imagine if they can strip. Now, let me reword that, because the whole legal thing. Let's say we had an engine that just gave you 3D models, give you, like a Kung Fu Man in 3D, and you see where I'm going with this. Imagine if Mugen can finally delve into the 3D world, having to learn, your models and everything. And I mean, I was just thinking, imagine Kung Fu Man in a Street Fighter 4 environment when he goes for his Kung Fu palm. You see the angle move, and you see Kung Fu Man go back for his palm, and then he starts going in. You know what I mean? I want to see a true evolution of the community and the engine itself. I know it's a lot to ask. It's just wishful thinking, and it's a what if, where, we're already getting 1.0. We're lucky to even have by working on that. But what if Mugen can go into 3D? I'm going to let MugenLord get some time on this, and then So Bad Guy. So MugenLord, what do you think?
Well, I mean, this is a whole nother level, of Mugen. I mean, this brings in a whole new level of creativity, new developers, because, you're going from 2D sprites, into like 3D models. And, I'm not a spriter, but from a lot of interviews from developers from like Capcom, SNK, and, other developers, they always say that doing 3D models is the best way to go because it's a lot easier. And then, doing 2D sprites, because it takes longer to do 2D sprites, especially when you're trying to get that fluid animation like Arc System games like Blaze Blue, Guilty Gear, the Persona 4 Arena games and stuff like that. So that brings in a whole nother level of different creators, bringing these 3D models, and just a lot of content be pushed out a lot faster. Because of the 3D models and what people can do with them, especially looking at the PC gaming right now with the mods and how people just fleshing out all these different types of, creative, characters and stuff like that. And that'll be something to see. I would love to see something like that.
Okay. So, Bad Guy, what do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. The limits would be fucking endless, man. I couldn't. Shit. You see that they're actually making other games out of the regular Mugen fighting game engine and shit. Imagine what they could do with fucking 3D game, man. Just imagine what the fuck they could do with a 3D Mugen engine. First of all, as far as the fighting game aspect would go, it'd be kind of like that 3D fighter maker.
Oh yeah,
that shit.
MugenLord's response was just super easy to say, "Oh, really?" Well, you know what? So Bad Guy. Let me put you on pause. MugenLord, explain that response. I need to know.
Dude, I mean, since I was a kid, dude, all I wanted to do was create, cause I RPGs. I haven't gotten to, fighting games until like a little bit later. I've been playing them as a kid, but I wasn't deep into them. So I was like an RPG guy. So the first type of development tool I got into was the RPG Maker. I'm still in the RPG Maker community. So, I've been doing that. And then, when I heard Fighter Maker came out, I was like, you know what? I mean, I like creating stuff, so let me try the Fighter Maker thing, and it's just horrible. It just sucks.
Oh my goodness! Oh
so
my
when you
goodness!
mentioned it, I'm like, no, not that.
All right. Well, you see, I was so interested in that back in the day, but for some reason, I don't know why I never picked it up. But I was always intrigued by it because I knew what the hustle that I put into trying to make something, like the passion. And I know people feel that out of some of my creations, whether they're complete or not. Like you'll see that I will put a whole lot of effort. If I had my hands on that and it wasn't too restricted, I'd make something really cool. And that's probably like a frontier or territory that I would love to be in. Actually, that would be getting to the promised land for me because, like you were saying, MugenLord, when Capcom decided to make the transition from 2D to 3D, it's less labor intensive. You know what I mean? Because you got to hand draw the sprites, or they have the animation machine that Disney uses. I mean, you got that. And not only that, the ease to actually change outfits, actually reuse the models in other games like, Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter Cross Tekken. You know what I mean? Yeah. It opens the door to also crossovers because had Street Fighter not gone into 3D, you would not have Street Fighter Cross Tekken. You know what I mean? Hell, look at the Dead or Alive 5 and Virtual Fighter. You finally now have them in characters gelling together. I wanted to see a full out Dead or Alive versus Virtual Fighter, but DOA 5 is as close as we're going to get right now, so hey, that's cool. But the 3D environment allows for more possibilities. That's what I think. And if Mugen goes into that direction someday, hopefully, not in the too distant future, there's just a lot more that can be done with that. So Bad Guy, what are your thoughts on this?
Going back to the old stuff I was saying. Okay. Well, basically, I can. We see a huge boom in the freaking amount of 3D fighters coming out. You can bet on that for fucking sakes, man. I'm telling you. Other than that, I could also see some other people making like 3D spaceship games like Gradius and all that kind of stuff, because that's what I see a lot of people doing when they make when they take the Mugen engine and do other stuff with it, going away from fighting games. I would sure love to see a fucking beat 'em up or like some kind of action game. That would be pretty nice.
Well, just to jump in real quick, they do have an engine, and I'm sure you guys, I hope you're familiar with it. It's a 2D scrolling counterpart. Yeah, Open BOR. And the best one is called The Tale of Vengeance. All the sprites were ripped from like Mugen titles, but it's like probably the most advanced side-scroller beat 'em up. But some people, when I had it on my page, they thought that was Mugen. I'm like, no, that's not Mugen. But let's say it does go into the 3D realm, and then you can have stages behave differently or have them loop, where it creates the illusion that you're going through a side-scrolling game. I mean, if Sin ever got his hands on something like that, imagine what he can make. You know what I'm saying? So that's just...
We'd never see him again.
You think so? No, that man got married. He living his normal life.
He would disappear, but his work would keep on coming.
No, well, this is true. All right, so I'm gonna bring that part of the podcast to a conclusion. Now, Soul Bad Guy is gonna lead. I'm just gonna take a back seat. I'll respond when I need to respond. And for time's sake, I don't want to go over a certain limit, so just keep an eye on the timer at the bottom. So, Slow Bad Guy, I let the leash go. Cujo's, the beast is out. Do your thing, my man. And damn, he got to change the glasses too. Oh, like Captain Commando.
All right, dudes. Swear, man, I've been watching and reading through the bullshit going down at the Mugen Fighters Guild. Man, that place is full of hypocrites, liars, and idiots. I was actually banned from that place multiple times, each time for violating some stupid unwritten rule or policy that they wish to enforce. The final time, should I say final actually, was when Ice challenged me to a pissing match and I didn't back down. Apparently being immoral in your speech is a bannable offense, and saying things just to piss somebody off is actually a true mentality and worthy of scorn and loathing of the masses. It's like whenever I, SBZ, am not trolling, I totally am. But when I say I am when I say I'm actually trolling, I'm totally not. Go figure, huh? No surprise that Guilds is completely ass backwards in all things. This all boils down to foreign politics and mechanics. One thing I noticed is that many forums tend to promote tact and political correctness and tasteful discussion. Problem with these things are no one is perfect. No one's a perfect example, and there's no one way to act without violating or offending somebody. Technically, there's no mistakes. You should thought that beforehand how to say something before it came off offensive to someone. You're expected to apologize if it does. I mean, this is pretty much irrational, needless social posturing that could have been avoided if the offended people in question showed the maturity one should have that would exercise restraint. Maybe they weren't meaning to offend you, huh? Maybe. And even if they did, is one obligated to hold your feelings in high regard? Fuck no. Which brings me to the next part of this. Why should a person be muted or banned? Forums are created so that discussion can be had. Usually there's an imposed limit on the discussion by those who run the place. It's funny that most of the people there at Guild decide to ban people based on immaturity and whatnot, being paragons of immaturity and the poster children of childish behavior themselves. Here's the thing. None of them are getting paid to do the job of admin or modding the place. Not that there'd be an excuse if they were. So in every case, their use of mod power is based on the fact that their patience is run out when dealing with a user is quite an exercise in hypocrisy and a well-documented display of their lack of discipline and restraint, i.e. maturity. I'm not going to go over many specific actions taken by the mods that showcase this, but that would take all goddamn day. You can just go and look at the damn mod administration panel and see the reports and the mod discussions go down. You can find all the examples you need in that shit. The funny thing about banning a person from a forum is they can easily fucking come back. I have. Shit. All they have to do is adopt a different posting style and not act the way they normally do in previous other accounts. IP addresses can be changed, and you can always lurk if anything. So then if all that can be done, what's the point of banning a person? I'll tell you what, ego boost and a sense of authority. That's all it is. If that's all it is, though, there's no point in doing it in the first place, right?
False sense of
you see,
power.
I have
That's
a hard
what it
time
is.
trying to pin. Yes. You see, I have a hard time. I mean, it's like I can't put the definition of maturity down because it often changes definition in the context of the discussion it's present in. In some cases, it means restraint. In other cases, it means experience or just not childlike behavior. Hell, there are times when it means there's a norm that everyone's expected to follow despite it being scientific fucking fact that no two people are the same or should be expected to be alike or behave the same way. Also, adults are simply children and are merely grown up anyway. So what, your feelings may be more complicated than what they were as a child. It still equates to the same fucking basic thing when it's brought down to its core level. And then as far as restraint goes, again, it's all according to how that person feels about the things. There's no right or wrong about it. With that being said, where does society's common idea of maturity go? Straight down the fucking shitter. Fuck you, Mugen Guild. You're a bunch of blind lapdogs circle jerking each other to the rhythm of your own bullshit. If anything, you check, what are you doing for the fucking Mugen community other than just stuff that you would have already done anyway when making your Mugen characters and stuff? You would just fucking, you would have archived that shit anyway and somebody would have found it and it would be there. That's all it would be to it. alexlexus is trying to at least try his own money where his mouth is, where you motherfuckers are just sitting back doing nothing. I mean, I've been checking the forums for a long ass time. I don't find anything new. I'm not finding anything new. We got King of Fighters 13, Blaze Blue, CES, and Chrono
Persona
Phantasma,
4.
Persona 4. Yeah. And other shit that's coming out. We haven't seen anything new yet, except for we can see all them goddamn KOF shits that have been coming out from the Neo Geo from all goddamn time long ago, and you want to defend these people and making these shitty ass characters from these One Piece games and stuff like that. Just fuck off. That's all I have left to say about that. There's nothing more I can say to y'all.
You know what's so bad, guy? I want to interject real quick. You said something that just caught my attention. Nothing new. Nothing really groundbreaking right now, except for, honestly, Balthazar's characters. What can bring new life into Mugen in terms of content? I'm going to ask MugenLord this first, and then I'll bring it back to you. So what new content can really stir or get the gears turning again or get that initial excitement from Mugen back? It's just an opinion that not everyone's going to agree with that. But, want to see something new. I don't want to keep seeing the Ryu clones, Ken clones, and all that other stuff, That's why I held back 2 of my characters for private use, and it's just, I didn't want to, I said to myself, I'm not going to release a Ryu and Ken, and what did I do? I released a Ryu and Ken. So I fell into that same net, because those characters are so cool, but, I mean, MugenLord, what do you think? Like, what can bring new life into the community? I mean, there's a lot of characters and a lot of new games that popped up that just never got transferred over to Mugen, Like we were saying, Persona 4.
I mean, Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I'm not a spriter, or I'm not a creator, or a coder and stuff like that. But I can tell that, just by going to Fighter Factory and looking at some of these sprites, man, some of them got over like 2,000, 5,000 sprites. Some of these characters take a lot of time to develop and stuff. So, I mean, like, the Hinata that somebody made from, rival schools made from Mugen, that was like handcrafted from scratch and stuff, but that took time. So, a lot of these new games that's out and stuff, and trying to put these characters together is going to take some time. But other than that, I mean, we got some people out there that is trying. Like I said, New Age Mugen forum, who's putting together the Hasani Miku screen pack. That's something new to the table. I mean, just to look at the high definition, and the character, and the stages and stuff like that. So they putting stuff out there, like Car Saga Wars and stuff. With the little chibi sprites, but they're like handcrafted and stuff. And it's like 4 or 5 years, and it only took 2 guys, to try to put the Archimedes and the other guy to put that together, and they're still working on it now. Stuff like that takes some time.
But you know what? If they had more resources or more people working with them, that can crush down the time pretty good too. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, that stuff takes some time. Like I said, like at Simra, their site, I mean, they working on a Chris Redfield, a Sea Viper. They're working on their own version of Dante, Batsu, and stuff like that. But that stuff takes time, and we'll eventually start seeing some stuff. But there are some communities out there that's trying to put the effort. But like I said, 2D sprites is a whole nother ball game compared to 3D models and stuff. And that stuff takes time. And I'm not a creator, but just looking at that stuff, I know that stuff takes time.
I think production time. Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's the problem. I think the production time, like when Balthazar told was saying that it took him, like, what, 2 years or whatever for, like, Goku and, Vegeta and stuff like that. I'm like, wow.
For both combined?
See, not both combined, but just Goku. But I don't know how long it took for Vegeta, but I know, like, Goku was saying around, like 2 years or something like that.
Wow.
Fernando Fernandez, with Mel Masters, he said that took him, what? He's working on it for, like, 3, 4, 5 years. So, I mean, this stuff takes time, especially if you want to create a masterpiece, because anybody can put crap together,
Yeah.
Shucks, I can make a character and, put it together and say, hey, I made a character, but if you want to create masterpiece characters, that stuff takes a lot of time.
And you know something?
So, we just have to wait and see.
Yeah, on top of that, what you just said, when I was working on my first character, I remember I should have waited until I had the facelift done, because it went through phases, and I'm not even done with this price. Not even done. And he's been out for now going on 3 years. Not done. I'm like, holy shit. But I put it out there so it can be used for, initially I shouldn't have rushed for feedback. I was just excited, like, yeah, put it out there. But, the sprites, if I went by the timeline for the sprites, I probably would have just been releasing them. You know what I mean? And I'm on the advent of finally completing. But, if we move into the 3D realm, oh, man, that would be a sigh of relief, because it's a lot of labor. And those of you who know how I can draw, I won't stop until I get it nice and right, But when you look back, I mean, I started spriting, and I was doing spriting with a mouse and click before I got my bamboo pad. That took, 10 months. 10 months. And that was over Akuma's sprite, you know what I mean? 10 months. And I had to go through every frame. It was 1,556 frames that I went through over 9 months. And I was doing sections. Yeah, go ahead.
Dude, I totally understand, because like I said, I'm in the RPG Maker community, and when I started back when I was in 8th grade, I tried to attempt doing some spriting, and I sprited my first character, and it took me about 3 months to sprite my main character. And I'm like, wow, if this is what it takes just to create, a character and stuff, I don't think I have the patience to sprite. And I congratulate a lot of y'all creators out there that takes the time to try to, handcraft and, and sprite these characters. It takes a lot of patience and passion.
I hear you. All right, so for the timer's sake, in conclusion, we covered a series of topics. For those who are going to be critics, we'll just put it like this. This is just a vessel to share and express and talk about things, give Mugen some exposure, something on a positive note. If you're gonna only look for the negative thing in it, that's all on you. Nobody's here to attack you, or at least not on my part. But I just want to put some announcements out. You're gonna see this video on the nFo channel. MugenLord will have access to the video, so you Mugen TV subscribers, you'll get to check that out as well. Soul Bad Guy will be with me. I offered him a permanent spot, and MugenLord is always a guest. Whenever he wants to be on or wherever he's available. Animal House has a seat right here for him. So, make sure you participate in MugenLord's event for submitting your characters and stuff. MugenLord, I still have to give you my updated Gokin and one of my other characters. I'll probably give you Asura, the updated one, and then we'll see where we go from there. So make sure you check him out. Actually, I want to give MugenLord some time to talk about any announcements that he has, and then I'll give Soul Bad Guy some time, and then we're going to conclude. But MugenLord, you got some time to plug your show.
Okay. Today I just uploaded the third segment to the Mugen Most Wanted. The new target is up. For those of you who don't know what Mugen Most Wanted is, it's basically I try to take horror characters and I post them up as on a most wanted list, and allow my subscribers or anybody that's in the Mugen community to participate by challenging them and just taking them out, and then just post it as a video response to that video. And once you reach that required amount of videos that I want from you guys, then I move on to the next target. So today I posted up Evil Ryu, Evil Ken, and Evil Dan. You have to take the three of them out. The two Evil Ryu and Evil Ken is and that's Rubinki's Evil Ryu, Evil Ken, and I can't remember the other author off the top of my hand that has Evil Dan. But your goal is to try to take them out, and I need a total of 16 or more video responses to move on to the next target. Also, look out for my second episode of Mugen University. For those of you guys who don't know what that is, Mugen University is basically teaching you guys the fundamentals of some fighting games and stuff like that. My first episode was basically how to put together a Mugen team of your own, and we go over to the different classes of characters like Shoto, Keep Away, Grapplers, and all those type of different classes, and how to pair them up against your opponent's classes of characters and stuff like that. The second episode, we're going to talk about footsies and all kinds of other things like that, and how to space on the field and everything. So, check out that as well. For those of you who haven't checked out my Mugen beta test labs, Fernando Fernandez has sent me, his character, Mel Masters. I did a, beta test video for that. If you guys are interested in checking that out, check that out. That's pretty much about it.
Okay, I gotta check out that Mel Masters, man. I have to see if I can put him on.
Awesome character.
I gotta put him on the Mugen NMO Creator Corner so I can actually do some voiceovers with that. But now, Fernandez, is he still distributing that character for beta test, or that's already closed up?
I have no idea.
I'll shoot him a message.
Shoot him a message, because he hit me up. I just check my email randomly, because sometimes I hardly check my email. I need to start doing that more often, my MugenLord email. I just started checking it out, and out of nowhere,
all right,
he sent me a message. He sent me an essay, and he was saying that he wanted to innovate as far as characters and stuff, and he didn't want Mel Masters to be a typical Shoto. Yeah. And from what he showed me, with the character, he has Mel Masters also has Rock when he was young from Fatal Fury, and he can use him to throw Mel Masters in the air. So while you comboing and doing the air combo, press the start button, and he'll just throw Mel in the air. You just combo right after that, and then have him catch you again and throw him again.
That's crazy.
He's an awesome character. Very creative.
All right. So, Bad Guy, in conclusion, any final words before we, go offline?
Nothing in particular. We're just going to be all working together to try to bring this community back together as far as getting some productivity into this shit, man. Because I do not want to see Mugen die. I really don't. It's good stuff, and man, it can lead to some very high potential original projects.
I hear you on that.
It makes you a better fighting game player contrary to what most fighting game players would tell you, it will make you a better fighting game player. If
you see things differently. You see things very differently. Like, you're like, wait a minute. You understand frames, you understand priorities and timings and things of that nature. You know what? Mugen, in conclusion, made me a lot better in Third Strike. A heck of a lot better. I mean, I'm not even the same player that I was when I first started playing that game. Because when you actually start decoding everything, you're like, oh, this is how it ticks. So, this has been our podcast, week 3. I was hoping to get Sin on the podcast because we were talking about it. That was going to be my surprise guest, but whenever he's available, we'll have him on here. We're going to be talking about some of his projects and, going forward for the future of Mugen. So this has been alexlexus with co-host Soul Bad Guy for NMO side of things. And this has been MugenLord for Mugen TV. Bringing everybody together, not tearing anyone apart. We'll see you next time on our joint podcast. Stay tuned. Next week, we'll see you on Tuesday. Peace.